Welcome, and thank you for checking out our recording. My name is Eric Hang, and I work for McGraw-Hill as the Special Projects Coordinator for the state of Utah. We're going to start off by taking a quick adventure of our own. Get ready, because here we go. Now, we just saw a lot of different components that ALEKS Adventure has, and I'm going to highlight just a few key aspects today. I'm excited to share that ALEKS Adventure is an all-new adaptive experience that invites early elementary learners on an immersive, imaginative journey where they learn math while having fun. New tools and apps are exciting, but can sometimes feel like uncharted territory. ALEKS Adventure offers the best of both worlds, an entirely new program created just for younger learners, with ALEKS's trusted AI at its core. The AI uses knowledge space theory to determine precisely what each student knows, then helps them work on what they are ready to learn next. ALEKS Adventure grows with students so they are continuously discovering new worlds throughout their elementary math journey. Each school year brings new lands and maps to explore, keeping kids curious and preventing burnout. We currently have ALEKS Adventure available for grades 1st and 2nd. For next school year, we are expanding to kindergarten and 3rd grade. On the screen, you see that our recommendations are 2 to 4 topics per week, with spending anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes per week. Again, those topics are pertaining to very specific skills that align with your state standards. And notice that also pacing may slow down as students progress throughout the program. That is expected, as we typically see topics later on in the school year requiring more work time or may require additional steps that would take the student typically a little longer to complete when compared to topics that they complete at the beginning of the school year. Now, there are a couple different ways that ALEKS Adventure can fit your classroom. Here we have 4 different options, one being that ALEKS Adventure is also available outside of the school day. Currently, with our 1st and 2nd grade levels, we have approximately 51 topics available in grade 1 and 66 topics available in grade 2. Again, these numbers are going to differ based off of your state standards. Logging in for the very first time will take some time, as students will be creating their avatar, completing the initial knowledge check, and building their ship. Lastly, we also have Digits Super Speedboats, which is the opportunity for students to work on and master their addition and subtraction facts through this challenging race fact fluency game, where not only they will be racing against the clock, but they will also be able to see some of their friends along the way. Now, let's take a live look at what adventure truly looks like. As a student, I have already completed the onboarding process. You can see in the upper right corner that I have my avatar already created.
Which animal do you want to be?
During the onboarding process, the creation of the avatar will look similar to what you're seeing now. There are additional settings that students will always have available to them. One being the ability to have directions reread to them, as well as going full screen and having a Spanish translation. From the home screen, students have these different portals, and you can see beneath each portal, there is a specific domain that is going to be worked on. As I navigate through my different portals, there are some that have a play button. Those are telling me as the student, I can work on specific topics within that portal. There may also be some portals that are locked, such as River Raft Fun. I have some prerequisite work or work in other portals before this portal becomes available for me to work in. But let's take a look at Icy Arctic Sea, which you can see here focuses on the domain of geometry. When a student clicks into an available portal, they will see their map of available topics. Here you can see that I have some topics with a play button, and I can also see my avatar with my spaceship. This is to tell students that this is the most recommended or ready to learn topic for you as a student. So a nice note as the teacher is to always have students locate their avatar and spaceship and begin there. There will also be at times some topics that are locked. You can see here with my reindeer, I cannot click into this. There are going to be other topics that I have to work on first. There is also going to be an additional page for some of these different topics. But let's click into Sandwich Shares.
Chef is making sandwiches for lunch. The sandwiches are cut into shares.
There are always 4 steps within any given topic. We are currently going through the narration or short story, introducing us to a problem and a new character.
Let's help Chef choose the sandwiches with equal shares.
We will learn about shapes that show equal shares.
After the short story, instruction will begin.
This shape has shares that are the same size. The shares are equal. Here is another shape that shows equal shares. Here is another shape. It also shows equal shares. These shapes show equal shares.
I noticed during this instruction that it's behaving similar to a click guide where students are required to listen to the instructions, follow any prompts, and click where they are shown to click. They are not able to skip forward. Instead, they do have to walk through the instruction.
This shape's shares are not the same size. This shape does not show equal shares. This shape's shares are not the same size. This shape does not show equal shares. When a shape has shares that are the same size, it shows equal shares.
Now let's practice together.
So after the instruction is guided practice.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
Students also have a hint option always available to them, not just during guided practice, but also during independent practice. And that hint is located in the lower left corner of their screen with that little light bulb.
Good thinking.
Notice that students are receiving immediate feedback, and even if a student answers incorrectly during the guided practice, they will be able to move into independent practice, which is the final stage or step of any topic.
More sandwiches are ready. Keep going. You've got this.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
Correct.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
You got it.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
When there are multiple answers and a student incorrectly chooses an option,
Look for shapes with shares that are the same size. Try again.
not only do they receive that feedback, but they are also shown which answer is incorrect instead of eliminating all of their options.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
That wasn't it. Take a look at the correct answer. Let's try something else.
So there was that feedback after my second incorrect response.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
I am being allowed to move on to another question, even though I just answered one of my questions incorrectly.
You got it.
Choose all the shapes that show equal shares.
You got it. We chose all the sandwiches with equal shares. Now it's time to eat.
So now that I have successfully completed this topic, answered more questions correct than incorrect, or I met the algorithm that ALEKS has in place for showing that I have learned this topic, I am now seeing the end of this story.
Choose your reward.
And each time a student successfully learns a topic, they will have these four options. One being that they can go to the store to modify their ship or purchase any new items of clothing using their coins. They can share a greeting with a classmate, and that greeting will appear the next time that student has learned a topic. They can also play the fact fluency game, which is digit super speedboats. Or last, just choose to skip an award. If I choose greetings,
Choose a classmate to send a greeting.
I have all of my classmates located on the right-hand side of my screen. Students can choose only one. And when they do, they can decide which greeting or emoji they want to send to their classmate.
You sent a greeting. Nice job.
And again, this greeting will show up to that classmate once they have learned a new topic.
I see a call for help. Can you and Digit the dog go check it out?
And lastly, We are always checking for a level of retainment, and so a student is going to be assessed, which is known as a progress knowledge check, to demonstrate that they have or have not retained previously learned topics. And now that is where I am headed next.
Use the ruler to measure the length of the fish to the nearest centimeter.
The progress knowledge checks are always just one question, and students are not given feedback during this progress knowledge check. That is deliberate so that we are just having the students move on instead of being told that they were perhaps incorrect and feeling bad that they were not successful. Whenever there's an option to input a numerical response, you'll see the numbers on the bottom, but also students can use a keypad or the keyboard from their own device.
That was good practice. You and Digit the dog make a great team.
You got a coin.
And there is when students earn a coin. When I click the arrow in the lower right corner, it will immediately bring me to the next ready to learn topic.
Art the fox is painting a picture.
But if I decide as a student that I want to work on something else or simply log out, I can absolutely do that. I can go to the map in the upper left corner or log out. There is also an option for students to review their progress. Reports is available, and when students are looking at the reports, what they see is exactly what teachers see. So when I navigate to my data as a student, you can see these different tiles. Currently, it's showing me my weekly progress. If there was a topic, let's say that I started but didn't finish, that topic would show up in this lower left tile, attempted not learned. If I was unsuccessful with a topic during that progress knowledge check, that is considered to be a topic that needs more practice. That would show up in the needs more practice tile. And then at the top, I can also see my current progress history. Here are my results on my initial knowledge check or my diagnostic during onboarding. And my ALEKS pie. This is a wonderful visual for students to not only see their own growth, but to also be utilized as a motivational strategy for students to continuously learn and add to their pie. As they are learning within a specific domain or a topic, their pie slices are going to be colored in. So this is a great option for students to track their own progress by drawing their own pie and shading it in every time they see growth. Lastly, I mentioned that what students see from the reports is very similar to what teachers see. Here's the teacher view. Notice that I have many of the same tiles, of course, with some additional ones that are helpful to teachers. A few that are helpful would be ready to learn, notifying me as the teacher which topics are ready to learn by a certain percentage of the class. In this example, I see decomposing 3-digit numbers in different ways. 80% of my class is ready to learn this. When I look at the attempted not yet learned tile, this is telling me that either 20% of my class has attempted plotting a 2-digit number, or they tried it but weren't successful. We can know more details as to whether a student simply didn't finish or they answered more questions incorrect versus correct by diving a little bit deeper into this report. You'll also notice that there is a standards report. This makes it easy for teachers to identify the current progress of their class as it pertains to a standard that is being currently taught. When you are in the teacher view, if at any time you want to access a student view, or as I mentioned during the onboarding process, you can walk through the onboarding process with students. Simply just click the class tools and access the student view. This will allow you to go through the beginning steps with your students all together. As we wrap up, my question to you is, who's ready for an adventure? I hope you enjoyed this presentation and are eager to guide your students on their very own ALEKS Adventure. Thank you again. My name is Eric Hang. Please feel free to contact me using the information on your screen.